Y'all hating Negroes or something else. If you don't like what the House of Consciousness is doing, then stay the hell off my page, man. This information goes to the conscious people. Peace and black power. Brother Yah Soldier 1. IsrealiteTeachings-lol, Vegas View 77. Haru King, Brother Minister 1930. Lord A, Baba out of Syracuse. We say peace to the House of Consciousness YouTube family. Stay tuned, you're gonna love this. This is conscious building right here, family.
They had the knowledge first.
What if I tell you no nation is older than another nation? See, only people that argue in the context of this is so-called Negroes in the diaspora. We are the only ones that do this. Now I've been all throughout Africa and in Asia. Like I was in Japan 2 years ago, and when I was over there, I was just learning some things about the Japanese Israelites that live over there. You got Israelites that's in Japan, and they've been over there for like 1,600 years. And what I've noticed is when you deal with other nations, they do not debate upon which nation they come from, because once again, because we lost understanding of who we were, we keep identifying nation based upon blackness. That's what we're doing. Now, it's nothing wrong with that if we're coming together under one unification in certain areas, because we understand what's going on with our people and language and things of that nature. But we're talking about identifying with a Pacific people, a Pacific lineage. Everybody can do that. We know historically right now that the modern day so-called Kemetic is your modern day Sudanese and your Somalians. So we know exactly today who the Egyptians are, and they did not come on the slave trade. They didn't come through the slave trade. So we knowing that we're not Kemetics, we're not Egyptian by blood and line. This is
not true.
Well, we can show and prove and document, and
that's not how you know it can't, because you got to show.
Okay.
It shows that all African people descended from one bloodline, which means unless you can show me where Yahweh created two men and two women, all people come from one. So whether we is there in Kemet or we right here in the wilderness of America, the blood is the same. We are now. That's why we are as powerful as we are today.
But the Watusis, my brother, I just want to say this one thing. The Watusis, I'm saying we got to deal with genetics. I'm saying the Watusis and the Twas are not the same. Like when you dealing with the Twas of the so-called pygmies, when they give birth within their tribe, they only can birth pygmies. When you look at the Watusis, they grow up to 8 to 9 feet tall. Their genetics is different, even though their skin is bronze in color, but they're two different nationalities.
Well,
Let me just finish.
Right, yes, sir.
I'm saying when you actually read the Torah or the Torah, it outlines, because we talk about plagiarism, that the argument is that the so-called Bible is a plagiaristic collection of the Kemetic writings. What I'm saying is, when you read the Tanakh in its original form, fuck the New Testament, because this Hebrew ain't dealing with that, number one. So when you look at the Tanakh in its original form, we got to look at the whole book in its totality. There's no Kemetian writings, none, nowhere that prophesy. I just want to finish this point. No Kemetian writings that outline the curses like Deuteronomy 28. None. When you look at our social condition, because that's the key. How could these fucking devils come into our land, come into the continent, and destroy us like that? It had to be something that was going on with us as a people for other people to come in. And I'm telling you, we can call it the Torah, the laws of Mayat, whatever we want to call it. We know we fell from them principles. That is the key element right there. And no writings do that. Deuteronomy say.
Let me add to that point. Number one, I'm gonna deal with this fact. Abraham, when he come into Egypt, he's a goat herder. That's all that he is. He's folding up tent. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. He's folding up tent. The first book of the Torah is Genesis. Would you argue with that?
The first book
of the Torah is not Genesis?
I will argue with it because the way you're defining Torah is inaccurate. The Torah is not the 5 books of Moses. This is where so-called Hebrew.
Is Genesis the first book of any Hebrew book?
Yeah, but
okay, then what I'm saying is this. It says Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians.
No, it doesn't say that.
What
it says that in the New Testament. Remember, I shut the New Testament. That says that in the book of Acts, which you're quoting. I do not acknowledge.
Well, I'm gonna acknowledge regardless. If that, do you believe he was raised in the house of Pharaoh?
Of course.
Well, okay, then he was raised as a prince, and we would understand that he would be taught all the things that the princes of Egypt would be taught. So he knew. He knew. Now the question is, show me any writings of a Semitic before Moses.
You said before
Moses.
I'm not dealing with Semitic.
Well, I'm talking about a writing. What I'm saying is that the African education taught you to write. You were not writing before you came into Egypt. You were not.
Yes, we were.
No. Show me the manuscript. Show me the original manuscript.
Nobody had a writing system except for those that were in the Nile Valley civilization. The Arabs ain't have it. The Jews ain't have it. Nobody. They were all ignorant. They all came because there was only one university in the world. And that was the University of
Waset.
Waset, excuse me. Right, was Waset. So there was only, in those 3 scripts, which was the Metal Letter, the Demotic, and the Heretic. Those are the only scripts in the world. Nobody had a script in the world.
That's Bill.
That's
God. Right. Come on, man. I'm God. You God. You limiting your understanding of just 6,000 to 7,000 years ago. We've been on this planet for infinite years. Wait, listen, stop. When y'all talk about Semitic, we're not going to play games. Now, we know that the word Semitic came in 1851 ACE by these Europeans, and you can look at it.
Or say Shemitic. You can say Shemitic.
Yes. Now, Shemitic is different because we talk about mythology. Just as you dealing with all nations on the planet, every nation has mythology. Even this is dealing with the mythos. So when we start talking about the word Shem and Japheth or Yetheth, and we talk about Ham or Ham, there are not just only physical people, but there are allegories behind it. Example of what I mean. The word Shem means name. Why is it called name? Because that man that gives birth to them descendants will hold this name, Yahweh. This is why you can't go with no other nation and find this name, Yahweh. But I don't want to lose focus. I want to get back on this point of language, and you talk about writing. Men and women have always been writing. We've been on this.
What they write on? Papyrus comes from Egypt. Paper comes from papyrus.
Stop.
Paper comes from papyrus. What they write it on?
We talking about a time, listen, we talking about a time when the whole earth at one time, and it's been proven scientifically, was one. You understand what I'm saying? We're constantly, listen, to me, that is Eurocentric science that is constantly dividing us.
Let me show you the facts. Show us the manuscript.
I'm gonna show you.
In the comments. Show me the original manuscript.
I am gonna show you the original manuscript, but I'm not gonna lose focus.
That'll end it. That's a knockout blow.
We talk about the Australopithecus.
Right.
I am, but we're gonna talk about the Australopithecus because Dr. Yosef Ben Yochanan clearly shows us an African mother of world civilization in all his books, Black Men and Not His Family.
Okay.
They speak about the Australopithecus like these are human beings. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you talk about the Kemetians and those that were spiritual. The Kemetians did not acknowledge that they evolved from apes. They did not acknowledge that.
See the thing, y'all, wait a minute, y'all check it out.
Hold on.
Let me check it out. Let me explain what that. Wait a minute, hold up. No, good, but what I'm saying is because Ali Muhammad said the same garbage. No, but wait a minute. Dr. Ben is like I use comparative study. Right. He's only using that as comparative study. Dr. Ben is a priest of the craft of Amun-Ra, and he teaches us the origin of humanity from the Nile Valley. Okay, with Ethiopians or whatever he teaching on the school level is not what's taught in the craft. I want you to establish that. So what you hear on the out, we are a secretive We are a secretive group. We don't speak our sacred. But who was the first person that talked about Canoe and talked about Ptah and talked about the black woman is God? Nu. It is Dr. Ben that brings this out. So he does not He does not exalt no damn Epiphanes. He exalts the black woman as God. Nu. He exalts Ma'at. He exalts Aset. Who brought that? Who brought that?
But then what he was
Dr. Ben. So don't talk that Epiphanes as if that's his main teaching. He uses that as comparative study. Okay? Whatever the white man has come up with, he comes to the same conclusion. It is in Africa. That's why he does that.